This is Chapter 13, The Guiltless World, Finding the Present, Section 6. To perceive truly is to be aware of all reality through the awareness of your own. But for this, no illusions can rise to meet your sight, for reality leaves no room for any error. This means that you perceive a brother only as you see him now. His past has no reality in the present, so you cannot see it. Your past reactions to him are also not there, and if it is to them that you react, you see but an image of him that you made and cherish instead of him. In your questioning of illusions, ask yourself if it is really sane to perceive what was as now. If you remember the past as you look upon your brother, you will be unable to perceive the reality that is now. You consider it natural to use your past experience as the reference point from which to judge the present. Yet this is unnatural because it is delusional. When you have learned to look on everyone with no reference at all to the past, either his or yours, as you perceived it, you will be able to learn from what you see now. For the past can cast no shadow to darken the present unless you are afraid of light. And only if you are, would you choose to bring darkness with you. And by holding it in your mind, see it as a dark cloud that shrouds your brothers and conceals their reality from your sight. So, yes, for the past can cast no shadow to darken the present unless you are afraid of light. So we can only be in fear, or we can only have our present darkened. We can only be upset if we are afraid of light. So that means all fear is really our fear of light, our fear of love, our fear of God, our fear of ourselves, which is, it's our fear of ourselves because we are love, we are light, we are oneness, we are God. So yeah, that's a really good point there. That this darkness is in you. The Christ as revealed to you now has no past, for he is changeless, and in his changelessness lies your release. For if he is as he was created, there's no guilt in him. No cloud of guilt has risen to obscure him, and he stands revealed in everyone you meet, because you see him through himself. To be born again is to let the past go and look within condemnation upon the present. The cloud that obscures God's Son to you is the past, and if you would have it past and gone, you must not see it now. If you see it now in your illusions, it has not gone from you, although it is not there. And I remember reading that the other week, and that was just such good news. I love the part that says to be born again is to let the past go and look without condemnation upon the present. I think that's just a beautiful thing, that we can be, this idea of being born again is just letting the past go. So every time we let the past go and we return to the present, we know that that is the definition of a miracle. So every time that miracle occurs, excuse me, we're born again every time. So time can release as well as imprison, depending on whose interpretation of it you use. Past, present, and future are not continuous unless you force continuity on them. You can perceive them as continuous and make them so for you, but do not be deceived and then believe that this is how it is. For to believe reality is what you would have it be according to your use for it is delusional. You would destroy time's continuity by breaking it into past, present, and future for your own purposes. You would anticipate the future on the basis of your past experience and plan for it accordingly. Yet by doing so, you are aligning past and future and not allowing the miracle, which could intervene between them to free you to be born again. So here he goes into more detail about that. And I think this is such an important point as well, that you would destroy time's continuity by breaking it into past, present, and future for your own purposes. So we basically, our ego takes one aspect of the past and decides that means that. And now in the present moment, that means that. And I'm going to feel unpleasant in some way because because my ego decided that in the past means that. So I guess that Holy Spirit is having me read this again because I, like everyone else, I'm in ego too. And last time I was reading this section, I was an ego, and my ego was having a real party in my mind, thinking about this person that has nothing to do with my life and doesn't affect me, and was like preoccupied with their choices and actions, and it really literally has nothing to do with me or my life. And so I guess, yeah, because this week, although the ego has calmed down about that situation, it is still going on about it. So I guess I need to continue reading this section some more and really do some more meditation and contemplation on this week to fully let it go, because I would like to be born again. I would like the miracle. I know that can occur. All right, so that one I already read. The miracle enables you to see your brother without his past, and so perceive him as born again. His errors are all past, and by perceiving him without them, you are releasing him. And since his past is yours, you share in this release. Let no dark cloud out of your past obscure him from you, for truth lies only in the present, and you will find it if you seek it there. You have looked for it where it is not, and therefore have not found it. Learn then to seek it where it is, and it will dawn on eyes that see. Your past was made in anger, and if you use it to attack the present, you will not see the freedom that the present holds. I really like that. Learn then to seek it where it is, and it will dawn on eyes that see. Your past was made in anger, and if you use it to attack the present, you will not see the freedom that the present holds. So I only want to see. Above all else, I want to see. That is a powerful lesson, and this is what we all seek to do. We want to see. We want to not believe in the illusion anymore. We want to really wake up and see the truth. And so when we are in anger, when we are in fear, when we are in attack of ourselves or someone else, we are not seeing. We are blind to what the truth is in every moment that we are feeling something unpleasant. Okay, so I'm just reading the comments here in Pal Talk because I don't know why it took me so long to realize this, but I can interact with people who are commenting. So if anyone has comments or questions, please share them, and I will be more interactive now with you, because I am more present now to that idea. I guess I don't know why I wasn't thinking about being able to do that before. So yeah, let's see. All right, I'll keep going. Judgment and condemnation are behind you, and unless you bring them with you, you will see that you are free of them. Look lovingly upon the present, for it holds the only things that are forever true. All healing lies within it because its continuity is real. It extends to all aspects of the sonship at the same time, and thus enables them to reach each other. The present is before time was, and will be when time is no more. In it are all things that are eternal, and they are one. Their continuity is timeless, and their communication is unbroken, for they are not separated by the past. Only the past can separate, and it is nowhere. So I like that. Only the past can separate, and it is nowhere. So the past, our belief in the past and the past affecting us and the past holding meaning, is the only thing that can separate us, or that can perceive to separate us from God. And the past is nowhere. So if the past is nowhere, then we our belief in separation isn't really happening. We are not separate. So we're never separate, actually. So that's good. That's great, actually. That's the whole point, to really know that, right? If we know that we are not separate, then we are at peace, then we are in the present moment. We are happy, we are feeling love, and we are feeling loved, and we know the truth about us, and we know the truth about our brothers and sisters. All right, the present offers you your brothers in the light that would unite you with them and free you from the past. Would you then hold the past against them? For if you do, you're choosing to remain in the darkness that is not there, and refusing to accept the light that is offered you. For the light of perfect vision is freely given, as it is freely received, and can be accepted only without limit. In this one still dimension of time that does not change, and where there is no sight of what you were, you look at Christ and call his witnesses to shine on you, because you called them forth. And they will not deny the truth in you, because you looked for it in them and found it there. So that's just lovely. They will not deny the truth in you, because you looked for it in them and you found it there. So if I'm really if I'm really willing to look for the truth in myself, and therefore then if I'm also willing to then look for the truth in my brother or sister who I've perceived to harm me, to attack me, that's a really great start, to be willing to look for that truth in myself and in someone else. So if I am willing to look, I am far, far, far more likely to find it than if I'm not willing to look. And if I'm not willing to look, actually, I'm not going to find it. If I'm not willing, if I'm not willing to believe in a unicorn could come in to the room I'm in, and I will not see it. I could be looking at it straight in the face and not see the beautiful unicorn. It kind of reminds me of those children's movies that are like about, Santa Claus and believing in Santa Claus. And it's like, there will be like a child will be like interacting with a Santa or like a mythical creature or something that's like very real. but they're right there and they exist. But the parent comes in and the parent just like doesn't see them. So it's not that the parent is the parent, the only thing stopping the parent from not seeing that creature like the child does is their belief that that creature is not real. So they don't get to see that wonderful mythical creature that that child is interacting with and having so much joy and adventures with. So that's how this works too. Let's see. All right. So someone commented, I'm not sure about this. I think I'm doubting it because there are so many complicated words. So let's see, what was I just reading that has complicated words? It is complicated. I mean, the course is very wordy. It's very, there are complicated words. The way, the language of it, the way that it is spoken is complex. It is complicated. It's not like, you know, common day language that we speak in, for sure. So if there's any like particular sentence that you were referring to, maybe I can unpack it for you. Feel free to comment on that. So yeah, let's see, what was the paragraph I just read? You would destroy time's continuity by breaking it into past, present, and future for your own purposes. Did I just read that paragraph? Yeah, so I totally lost my spot here. I guess I just read the paragraph. All right, well, I'm going to keep reading. The miracle enables you to see your brother without his past and so perceive him as born again. His errors are all past, and by perceiving him without them, you are releasing him. And since his past is yours, you share in this release. Let's unpack that a little bit. So the miracle enables you to see your brother without his past and so perceive him as born again. His errors are all past, and by perceiving him without them, you are releasing him. And since his past is yours, you share in this release. So this is like a huge idea in the course. This is, I think, a really like, you know, another level of concept that it's a hard one to understand and digest. Is okay. So first of all, we get this first part. It's a simpler where the miracle enables you to see your brother without his past and so perceive him as born again. So if I can perceive myself without my past, I can let that past go and feel born again and be free. And so the same thing would be true for my brother. If I can see my brother without his past, I can see him as born again, and I can be free from whatever harm has been done to me by him in the past. So I'm releasing him from that. And so then what happens is I am not subject to his illusion anymore. So if I am caught up in my brother's illusion, that means that I am in illusion. So I have an illusion of my brother's illusion. So I have to be willing to let that go, right? So let's see. And then the next part, his errors are all past, and by perceiving him without them, you are releasing him. So, and since his past is yours, you share in this release. So this is the oneness of us. This is the truth of the oneness, is that his past is yours. Our brothers and sisters' past is ours. Our past is theirs. Because we are all one, we have done all those things that we condemn others for doing, no matter how harsh they are. And even though in this lifetime, you know, I haven't murdered someone or I haven't done particular things at that level, but because we are all one, I have done those things. That's just the truth, is I have done those things. In the illusion, I have done those things. Okay, but the truth is that we cannot be held. We have to hold ourselves accountable for those actions, absolutely, but we don't have to be held prisoner to those actions. That's where self-forgiveness comes in. That's where the atonement comes in. Self-acceptance is possible because we are all seen as, we are innocent and we are perfect in God's eyes. So that's the only thing we can be. So anything in our past is just, it is past, is part of the illusion, and it's the past. And so what's the point of holding the resentment, of holding the grudge for something that's already done? Because the thing is the past is the past. It's done. Like it's over with. But the way that we live our lives, we are actually experiencing our present as if the past is still happening to us over and over and over. And the extreme experience of that is PTSD, where we are literally re-experiencing the trauma of the past and the pain of the past. And we are comparing all of that past stuff to current experiences and current people that may be very, very safe for us, but we don't believe they are because of what has been done to us in the past. And so but in the end, the past is the past. It already happened. It's over. That is the beauty of the past, is that it is the past. It is not the present. We can rewrite the past by returning to the present moment at any point that we get sucked in. We can never get sucked in so deep into a depression or into anxiety or into anything, into heartbreak, into any level of pain. We can never get sucked in so deep that we cannot get out of it and return to the present. Now, it may feel like that. We may experience it as we can't possibly ever see a way out of this, but that's not actually true. We always can get out of it. And we just have to be willing. We have to start by being willing. If we're not willing, then we are not going to get out of it. It is going to remain like that. So we have to be willing to believe in something else is possible for us and in our life. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it ends when we come into the holy instant. Someone says, yeah, isn't that true? So that's the present. That's the miracle. We're returning to the holy instant, which is the present moment. We're in the present. The holy instant is not that unattainable, is not that unachievable. It's not that complicated. It's just returning to the present, which is a miracle. And we do this multiple. I think I was talking about this another day. We do this multiple times a day. Like we return to we return to love. We make a shift from fear to love all day. I mean, most of us, we're in a state of fear or grievance territory about something many, many times a day. But most of us on a typical day, we're also in a state of love for many, many times a day, many moments a day. And even if it's just like a second, there's lots of moments where this happens. The holy instant is happening all over, left and right. So yeah, let's see. Judgment and condemnation are behind you, and unless you bring them with you, you will see that you are free of them. You look lovingly upon the present, for it holds the only things that are forever true. All healing lies within it because its continuity is real. It extends to all aspects of the sonship at the same time and thus enables them to reach each other. The present is before time was and will be when time is no more. In it are all things that are eternal, and they are one. Their continuity is timeless, and their communication is unbroken, for they are not separated by the past. Only the past can separate, and it is nowhere. So I accidentally read that paragraph again, but I guess it was really important to read again. And again, only the past can separate, it is nowhere. So the past is over, it doesn't exist. It's no longer part of our lives. So, you know, if we really started living our lives like the past is not part of our lives, wow, can you imagine how we would be living? There'd be so much there would be absolutely nothing right now that I would be scared of, that I would be upset about, that I would be angry about. There'd be nothing holding me back from what I could possibly achieve if I really completely, permanently let my past go. Even the past, like even yesterday, even an hour ago, like if I continually was letting my past go, that opens me up for a miraculous, joyful life. I can't even imagine what I could be achieving because in the last few years, I've let a ton of my past go. And my life has just like transformed, you know, 1,000-fold. And so I can't even imagine if I was to let that go even more, like really let it go even more. You know, probably what we've let go is like the tip of the iceberg, really, to what we're experiencing. We can, Jesus says in the Bible somewhere something about like how we are capable of performing the miracles that he performed. So the healing miracles he performed on people, and you know, he gave people the ability to walk again, he gave the blind the ability to see again, and all these miracles healing all these sick people. Jesus says that we could actually achieve miracles even beyond that level of miracles. We know there's no order or level to miracles, but you know, Jesus is basically saying, if you really, you know, woke up and saw this truth and this love in yourself and really saw you and your brother as the Christ, you could be performing these kinds of miracles just endlessly in intense levels of miracles. So that's pretty cool to think about, right? Let's see. Okay, the present offers you your brothers in the light that would unite you and them and free you from the past. Would you then hold the past against them? For if you do, you're choosing to remain in the darkness that is not there. Sorry. It's my alarm. Okay, I can keep going for a little bit. I'll read that again. The present offers you your brothers in the light that would unite you with them and free you from the past. Would you then hold the past against them? For if you do, you're choosing to remain in the darkness that is not there and refusing to accept the light that is offered you. For the light of perfect vision is freely given and it is freely received and can be accepted only without limit. In this one still dimension of time that does not change, and where there is no sight of what you were, you look at Christ and call his witnesses to shine on you because you called them forth. And they will not deny the truth in you because you looked for it in them and found it there. So this is just a wonderful paragraph as well. Read that. I'm going to read that again. In this one still dimension of time that does not change, and where there is no sight of what you were, you look at Christ and call his witnesses to shine on you because you called them forth, and they will not deny the truth in you because you looked for it in them and found it there. So if I'm willing to look, I am going to see something. Okay, if I lost my car keys, I'm not willing to look for them. I'm not going to find them if they're like underneath my bed, buried or something. I have to be willing to look for them. Yeah. Okay. Now is the time of salvation, for now is the release from time. Reach out to all your brothers and touch them with the touch of Christ. In timeless union with them is your continuity, unbroken because it is wholly shared. God's guiltless Son is only light. There is no darkness in him anywhere, for he is whole. Call all your brothers to witness to his wholeness as I am calling you to join with me. Each voice has a part in the song of redemption, the hymn of gladness and thanksgiving for the light to the creator of light. The holy light that shines forth from God's Son is the witness that his light is of his Father. Shine on your brothers in remembrance of your Creator, for you will remember him as you call forth the witnesses to his creation. Those whom you heal bear witness to your healing. For in their wholeness you will see your own. And as your hymns of praise and gladness rise to your Creator, he will return your thanks in his clear answer to your call. For it can never be that his Son called upon him and remained unanswered. His call to you is but your call to him, and in him you are answered by his peace. So again, I love this. Your call to him cannot remain unanswered if you're willing to call upon him. So if we're not willing to call upon God, he can't answer it. We're not willing to receive it. So it will be answered if we call upon. So yeah, our prayers are answered on some level. They might not be really like literally answered in the way that our ego thinks it would like them to be, but they're answered on some level always. So we must be willing to trust in that. Let's see. Child of light, you know now that the light is in you, yet you will find it through its witnesses. For having given light to them, they will return it. Each one you see in light brings your light closer to your awareness. Love always leads to love. The sick who ask for love are grateful for it, and in their joy they shine with holy thanks. And this they offer you who gave them joy. They are your guides to joy, for having received it of you, they would keep it. You have established them as guides to peace, for you have made it manifest in them, and seeing it, its beauty calls you home. Oh, that's really beautiful. Yeah, I got some chills there. They are your guides to joy, for having received it of you, they would keep it. You have established them as guides to peace, for you have made it manifest in them, and seeing it, its beauty calls you home. Love always leads to love. Yeah. Yeah. And other things can lead to love too. The fear can lead to love. That's the miracle. So then doesn't that mean all things lead to love? I think so. Let's see. Okay, there's a light that this world cannot give, yet you can give it as it was given you. And as you give it, it shines forth to call you from the world and follow it. For this light will attract you as nothing in this world can do, and you will lay aside the world and find another. This other world is bright with love, which you have given it. And here will everything remind you of your Father and his Holy Son. Light is unlimited and spreads across this world in quiet joy. All those you brought with you will shine on you, and you will shine on them in gratitude because they brought you here. Your light will join with theirs in power so compelling that it will draw the others out of darkness as you look on them. This is so good. This is just so good. It's also, he's talking about the light shines on you with quiet joy. I'm getting these like really subtle, gentle, just like tingly chills all through my head and shoulders, and it's the quiet spread across this world in quiet joy. That's kind of how I'm experiencing it in my body right now. The light is unlimited. He's talking about there's a light that this world cannot give. So the world can't give the light. It doesn't have to give the light. It can't give the light. It doesn't have to give the light because the light is in us. I am the light of the world. That's a beautiful lesson in the Course. I am the light of the world. So where's that light? It's in us, always. Even when we have the darkness clouding the way, the light is still in us. It's not out there. We don't need to seek it. We don't need to walk towards the light and find it and seek it out and go through struggles and a big journey to find it. It's right here. We just need to unblock what's blocking it, which is the fear, the darkness, the grievances, the past, the meaning we make of the past. Yeah, this is beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that's a beautiful paragraph. I'm gonna read that last part again. All those you brought with you will shine on you, and you will shine on them in gratitude because they brought you here. Your light will join with theirs in power so compelling that it will draw the others out of darkness as you look on them. So when our light is shining and someone else's light around us is shining, that light comes together and expands infinitely. That is the power of the two or more gathered. That light expands. It just doesn't like double when there's two people. It expands much, much more than that. And so our light becomes their light. It already is, but our light, comes together with their light and becomes huge. And with three people, it becomes even more huge, and it just expands and expands, and there's no end to how expansive that light and that love and that gratitude and that joy can be. We can, and that's why our healing affects others in ways that we can't even always perceive, because our light is so powerful that it helps our brothers shed their own darkness, shed their own fears, and let them go. And we can do that just by stepping out into the world and interacting with the world and being part of the world with our light and holding true to our authentic, beautiful selves and continuing to be authentic in ourselves. And our pure hearts can shine through, and people will feel that, even if they're not feeling that consciously. They feel that energy, and they can be healed by it. That's how powerful it is. Okay. Awakening unto Christ is following the laws of love of your free will, and out of quiet recognition of the truth in them. The attraction of light must draw you willingly, and willingness is signified by giving. Those who accept love of you become your willing witnesses to the love you gave them, and it is they who hold it out to you. In sleep you are alone, and your awareness is narrowed to yourself, and this is why the nightmares come. You dream of isolation because your eyes are closed. You do not see your brothers, and in the darkness you cannot look upon the light you gave to them. So we can't see Santa Claus there if we don't believe, and if we're not willing to believe in Santa Claus. Our eyes are closed to perceiving whatever is real, because we are in a state of unwillingness to perceive that, because we're very attached to what we think we want to perceive. The ego thinks we want us to perceive the pain and the resentment and hold on to these things and not forgive and not feel better. The ego's purpose always is to make us feel worse. But it does a really good job at manipulating us into believing that its process actually makes us feel better. But its only purpose is to make us feel worse by telling us lies and convincing them they are true and that that's how we're going to feel better. So that's pretty hardcore manipulation there. That's this, and it's really good at it too. So the light is more powerful than all that. Okay. Let's see. Yet we are attracted to it when we see it. Yeah. Yeah, we are attracted to whatever we see, wherever we're willing to see and believe in, we're attracted to. So that goes for the darkness, and that also goes for the light. It goes for both. So which one do I choose? Which one am I willing to choose to be attracted to today? The light or the darkness? I'd like to choose the light. That feels a lot better. Yeah. Awakening unto Christ is following the laws of love of your free will and out of quiet recognition of the truth in them. The attraction of light must draw you willingly, and willingness is signified by giving. Those who accept love of you become your willing witnesses to the love you gave them, and it is they who hold it out to you. In sleep you are alone, and your awareness is narrowed to yourself, and that is why the nightmares come. You dream of isolation because your eyes are closed. You do not see your brothers, and in the darkness you cannot look upon the light you gave to them. I think I, again, accidentally read that paragraph again, because we must have needed to hear it again. So you dream of isolation because your eyes are closed. You do not see your brothers, and in darkness you cannot look upon the light you gave to them. So again, that's what I was just talking about. Okay. And yet the laws of love are not suspended because you sleep, and you have followed them through all your nightmares and have been faithful in your giving, for you were not alone. Even in sleep has Christ protected you, ensuring the real world for you when you awake. in your name he has given for you and given you the gifts he gave. God's Son is still as loving as his Father. Continuous with his Father, he has no past apart from him. So he has never ceased to be his Father's witness and his own. Although he slept, Christ's vision did not leave him, and so it is that he can call unto himself the witnesses that teach him that he never slept. So yeah, although we are sleeping, right, when we are not awake in the metaphorical sense, in the spiritual sense, when we are not awake, that's okay, because we can always wake up, and it doesn't matter how long we slept. It's not like we missed an opportunity to choose again and to wake up and to see that truth and that light and that love. We can always wake up at any point. We never are going to get too deep in that sleep that we're going to just continue sleeping. We can't wake up. We will wake up. We can wake up from the dream. We just have to be willing to call upon the Holy Spirit to help us wake up and see things differently. Am I willing to see this differently? So if I'm willing, then I can. Then it can happen. And the light is so powerful that I'm going to begin to see things differently if I just am willing. So isn't that good news? Let's see. That's the end of that section. I don't feel called to launch into another section. I'm getting very hungry. So I think that I'll wrap it up there. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed day full of light and willingness.
Thank you so much, Kel Lash. I do appreciate you coming in, and I'm so happy you found our chat board, because it is really a wonderful thing. I often wonder when people come on Zoom, they are kind of missing out on a little extra conversation going on. So I'm glad that you're in the room. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.